Hello and welcome to the Daily Mill for Sunday, the 22nd of October 2023. Yes, that is correct. A day late, 24 hours late, but better late than never. We start off with this. Worked his socks off. Adam Barrett praised his first competitive start for Millwall youngster. This is from the londonnewsonline.co.uk. Adam Barrett praised Emakhu after the caretaker manager handed the youngster his first competitive start for Millwall. The Irish under-21 international looked comfortable in the side as he partnered Tom Bradshaw in the absence of the injured Kevin Nisbet. His deflected effort forced Freddie Woodman into a smart save via the crossbar in the first half as Preston struggled to deal with his ability to run with the ball. He showed what a threat he can be, said Barrett. He's got that pace and power which can hurt you. There's no two ways about it. He's going to make you defend. I was really impressed with his off-the-ball work today. He worked his socks off. It's just that consistency now. He's a young lad. He's going to be a bit up and down. We've got to make sure we manage him right, but I thought it was a very strong performance from him today. Indeed. Moving on to the 4 takeaways piece from the londonnewsonline.co.uk. 4 takeaways from Millwall's 1-1 draw at Preston North End. Fleming enjoys Deepdale again as boss process set to progress. Say that once you've had a drink. It's been a hectic few days at the Den with the departure of Gary Rowett and the uncertainty about who will replace him, but the show must go on, and Millwall were in action at Preston on Saturday afternoon and secured an important point to take their tally on the road this season to 9 from 6 games. It started badly, finding themselves 1-0 down inside 3 minutes, but Zion Fleming's 30th minute equaliser secured a share of the spoils for the Lions, who extended their unbeaten run to 3 championship games. Here are Alex Grace's 4 takeaways from the contest at Deepdale. Life after Rowett begins with a draw. It had been a fairly uneventful international break for Millwall up until Wednesday night, when a statement released by the club said they had mutually agreed to part ways with the first team manager, Gary Rowett. Many were surprised by the timing, me included, but not surprised by the outcome. Rowett's tenure had felt like it had come to its natural conclusion after 4 years at the helm, and that it was a time for change. Even Adam Barrett, who's now in caretaker charge, seemed surprised at the news that his boss had left the building. Barrett would be given another shock inside 3 minutes at Deepdale, though. The Lions looked a mess in those opening exchanges. Passive defending allowed centre-half Jordan Story to dribble his way forward, lay the ball off to Will Keane, who held the ball up perfectly for Mads Furker Jensen. He calmly swept home to give the hosts the early lead. What would have pleased Barrett was the response his side showed after the first 10 minutes, growing into the game and earning their equaliser through Zion Fleming's fine effort from outside the box. From that point on, it was Millwall who looked the better and stronger side. Zion does it again against Preston. It's safe to say that Zion Fleming has found his favourite opponent in the Millwall shirt. A hat-trick at Deepdale last season was backed up with second goal in the Lions' 2-0 win over Ryan Lowe's men at the Den last season. It has been a slow start to the campaign for Millwall's record signing. The goal at Deepdale was just his third of this term after the intense speculation about his future over the course of the summer months, most notably from Vincent Kompany's Burnley. Now that it's all settled down, for now at least, Millwall could be set to see their star man come to the fore. The Bermondsey Bergkamp netted 15 times last season, 4 of which came against Preston. It's clear that his best role is in the centre, operating as a number 10. There have been a few occasions this season where he's shifted out to the left to play as part of a front three, and his effectiveness has dwindled. To get the best out of Fleming, he needs to play as a number 10. Here. Yes, indeed. Adomo takes his chance. Adam Barrett's first big call in a temporary hot seat was to give Emakhu his first start in the Millwall shirt. The youngster certainly repaid that faith with a good performance and stated the claim to keep his place with Kevin Nisbet out injured. His ability to run at players, carry the ball forward and lead breakaways was great to watch, something that Millwall's other attacking players, apart from Romain Esse, do not have the ability to do. That's a bit harsh on Duncan Watmore. I think he can do that kind of thing. Emakhu demonstrated this trait in the 17th minute. He led the breakaway from a north end corner, charging down the right hand side. His shot took a deflection off Ben Whiteman before forcing Freddie Woodman into a smart stop, tipping the ball over the crossbar. There was concern though, as the 19-year-old had to be replaced by Ryan Longman in the 69th minute with what appeared to be cramp. With 2 more games to come this week, the last thing the Lions need is more injuries. Well, Emakhu update on this, obviously, because I'm filming it a day later. Apparently, Emakhu put out on his social media, see you all on Tuesday. Now, does that mean he's just going to be at the game, or is he actually going to be in the squad? Who knows? Important week ahead. Not only is it a big week in terms of the future of the football club, with the board forming a short list of who should be the person to build on the successful 4 years of Rowett stewardship, there is also the small matter of games against Blackburn Rovers and Watford. While all the focus is going to be on who gets linked to the job, the Lions must keep focus on the pitch. Such is the nature of the championship that these 3-game weeks can see you up in the playoffs or looking over your shoulder by the end of them. Blackburn are up first on Tuesday night, and nightmare memories of what happened on the final day of the season will resurface. Those will be demons that the team will want to banish away before a trip to Watford next Saturday. Chairman James Verrilson is flying over this week. Chief Executive Steve Cameron on the board will look after the appointment process, and the pressure will be on them to make sure they get this decision right. We'll see about that. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work. Obviously, we've got all these names mentioned in the betting, but that's just, these are the out-of-date managers. If you're someone like Michael Bills, who's very fond of himself, and you get a call from Millwall and say, hey, do you want to come in and talk about the job? And they say, are you offering me the job? Are you headhunting me? Are you literally offering me the job? I say, oh no, you're on our shortlist, and we want to come in. We want to come in and speak to you, and you'll have an interview. And then we've got another 2 other people to interview, and then we'll decide then. Now, if you're Michael Bill, like I said, he's very fond of himself. I would imagine he will tell you to go fuck yourself. Because why? If he calls the club and says, hey, I might be interested in a job, but do you want to? Can we have a chat? Like, if he's applying to it. But I imagine Millwall have probably got about 100 people applying for this job. But if they call people up and say, do you want to come in for an interview? And you're gonna, if you rate yourself, you say, well, are you offering the job, or are you not? You just tell them to fuck off. Like, so how are they going to do this? Which I think more on that later, because I think that might be what's happened somewhere else. But I'll see more on that in Monday's video, which I'm going to record straight after this. Moving on to more post-match from southwarknews.co.uk. It's been a bit crazy. Jake Cooper on how the last few days have been for Millwall's players. Gary Rowett's departure came just days before a difficult trip to Preston. Jake Cooper says the last few days have been a bit crazy as Millwall's players adjusted to life after Gary Rowett. The head coach mutually agreed to depart the club. He wasn't sacked just days before the end of the international break. Despite events off the pitch, the Lions went to 3rd place Preston and were good value for their 1-1 draw, and that's a thumbs up from Adam Barrett there. Cooper said the new normal has taken some time to get used to. He told News at Den after yesterday's game, it's been a bit all over the place, if I'm honest. It's been a bit crazy, not knowing what's going on and all that sort of thing. But Adam came in on Thursday and told us how it was and how he wanted to go about it, and the lads have bought into that. Ads is a very popular person at the club, so we're all focused on trying to get results for him and the fans who've travelled up here today. And when we go back on Tuesday, that will be our main focus. Barrett and Cooper both joined the club in 2017, and the 28-year-old defender is a fan of his new caretaker boss. I've worked closely with Adam all the time I've been at the club. Cooper added, obviously he used to work a lot on the defensive side with me. He does a lot of set plays that we used to do. Didn't get to see too much tactically as he was more on those side of things, but he's very passionate, a very passionate person, and he's very easygoing. He's very easy to approach, and he's a great character to have around the football club. On the game itself, Cooper said, it was obviously a very difficult start, not the start we all wanted at all, but I think after the first shaky 10 to 15 minutes we really responded well and played our football. We really and I thought it was a great performance, and from then on a bit shaky in the second half, but a tough place to come. Preston have been flying high. Great start to them for the season. It's always difficult. They're a big physical side that can make it difficult for teams. We had to stand up to that, and I thought we did excellently. Indeed. Now moving on to the stats from that game. Yeah, I know. Thank you for watching. Anyone else who's staying? Let's go. Um, so this is from WhoScored.com. Millwall more effective at creating goal scoring opportunities through individual skill. Well, poor at finishing though. Gave away a lot of free kicks around the box. We don't have any style of play apparently. But Preston played with wit, flavoured long shots, attacked down the right hand side. Preston were too aggressive and gave away a lot of free kicks around the box. If you look on the right hand side, you can see most of the higher rated players are Preston players. And interesting to see Brook Norton-Cuffy has the most number of, second most number of tackles in the match, but the most of any Millwall player. Interesting that. I wouldn't expect that. And I watched the game and I still wouldn't expect that. So, not really a rip-roaring game. I don't know if it's because it was early in the morning or what, but 7 attempts for each team, which I think is down on the average for each game. So obviously 1-1, that's a conversion rate for both teams of 14%. The chances were 5-4 open play, 2-2 set piece, and we had 1 counter attack. So if we scroll down, so Preston were mostly about 50% going down the right hand side. We were going down both sides. Shot directions, shot zones. So none in the 6-yard box. Quite a few shots outside of that, outside of the box. Action zones, mostly in the middle, 47%. Player positions. Here we go. Tactically, are we seeing any difference from Gary Rowett? Not too sure really. So what was that there? 15 and 22. That's Joe Bryan, isn't it? So you can see if they were mostly attacking down their right hand side, that would be 44 there and 25. Obviously, Mario Wallace and Joe Bryan having to deal with that. And 22, that's Emakhu, isn't it? It's 22. Interesting that Bradshaw was playing deeper than Zion Fleming. Probably explains why I felt like I didn't really see any Bradshaw do anything in that match. That kind of was that on purpose? I don't know. Was that the tactical change? Bradshaw having to drop deep to flick balls on to Fleming to win the aerials from the goalkeeper, with Bart's kicking not being able to go that far down the pitch. I don't know. Was he dropping short to pull the defenders forward and move players around? I don't know. That is interesting. So the furthest player forward was Ryan Fleming. Okay. So let's go through. So here's the match events. Obviously, they scored after 3 minutes. We scored on the 30th minute. Alan Campbell getting an assist there. Hey. Quite a few cards. They got more cards than us. Emakhu getting a card for us. All I can say is thank God that VAR isn't in the championship. Because I think with Norton-Cuffy, his hand in the ball, or the ball in his hand, I should say. I think if that was in the Prem, if we had VAR, that would be given as a penalty. But thank God that shit isn't in this league yet. So, if you look at the top left and top right where the club badges are, you can see the average player rating for each team. 6.51 to Preston, so 6.57 for Millwall. That's pretty even. That's what you expect, a draw, no? Total crowd of 14,427. I think they said 696 Millwall fans. So yeah, let's have a look. So man of the match was Frogjar Jensen, 7.5. Lindsay for them 7.3, and then Zion Fleming is 7.3. Obviously, that won the goal, but this rating is based on, I think, on like output and stats, not like quality. It's not subjective. It's kind of objective based on what you do, and I think they kind of I don't know how they do it. I think some things are overly subscribed, like aerial duels and stuff like that. So if we go down, we can see. So these are player ratings, and we can see seven. So 7 shots for each team. Who had the shots? So 2 for Emakhu, 2 for Fleming, and then you got Cooper, Bryan, and Campbell. For them, it was Holmes had 3. I think one of which was saved by Biakowski quite well. It was a very powerful shot. He kind of punched into the ground and then dealt with it. Possession wise, 54 to 46. So pretty even. Sort of. It's usually a bit more skewed than that. But I think Preston kind of play the way we kind of play. They don't really want the ball. They play quite direct. But for us, it was mostly Denor on the ball. With the ball, Denor and Bryan. And you see, because you got Whiteman. If you look at Preston, Whiteman was on the ball mostly for them, 7.4. They're having him up against Denor. Probably what you want, trying to get him to get the ball off of him. Okay. Pass success percentage though, 78 to 73. 92% for Emakhu, and obviously he did go off, and I doubt that he touched the ball that much because he was kind of the end man. He was kind of getting on to the end of the through ball, so be interesting to see how he's got 92%, or how many passes he had. But the 2 in the middle, Campbell 86, Denore 88. That's not bad. Bryan 74, Bradshaw 77, Cooper 79. But Biakowski, CS 17, that's quite poor for him. Dribbles 5 to 11, obviously Emakhu 3, Norton Cuffy 3. That's what you want, isn't it? Aerials 1, 22 to 20, so just shaded than that. Everyone winning an aerial for Millwall except for Norton Cuffy, Emakhu, and Biakowski. And you can see up front for Preston, none of their front men won an aerial. And I'm probably down to Cooper, Harding, and Wallace. Tackles 15 to 11, so again, their defence not really having to do much tackling. It was the midfield. It was a midfield game, wasn't it? Mostly played in midfield. Norton Cuffy with 4, Brady with 5. Corners 5 to 2. So these are the players who won the corners, I think. Maybe I'm not too sure. Dispossessed 7 to 6. So yeah, Norton Cuffy does lose the ball quite often. Like I said, I came up with the moniker Scruffy Cuffy. He's not very neat with his football, is it? Not very technical. So moving on to another page from WhoScored.com covering the same game. It's a list of a few more things where we can find out why does Ado Emakhu have a 92% passing accuracy. Before that, let's change all the ratings, and you can see, so Zion Fleming, the only player with a 7 out of 10 and above for Millwall, 7.33, got the goal. Alan Campbell, third in the list. All you Alan Campbell haters, 6.84. Emakhu second with 6.88. Not bad, seeing as he only had 68 minutes on the pitch. If he had played in the full 90, would he have got a 7 or above? Probably might have scored as well. Oh, he was getting tired, so probably not. But when you've got 2 shots and 2 shots on target from 23 touches of the ball, that's not bad, is it? That's not bad. May have got a 7 out of 10 if he didn't get that yellow card. So let's go down to the bad end. Ryan Longman, substitute 6.13. Biakowski 6.14. Obviously 2 shots on target for Preston. One of them went in. So that's 50% of the shots against you have gone in, and not only that, with your 16.7 passing accuracy, that's why you've got a low score there. If we had the other goalkeeper in goal, would he have won that game? I don't know. But interesting. So one of the subs, Billy Mitchell, had 9 minutes on the pitch, got a higher score than Biakovsky with his 6 touches of the ball. Murray Wallace 6.32, kind of harsh. There you go. Not too many subs. Was it only 2 subs? If we go back down, what are we doing? So how many? We had 7 shots, and we had 4 on target. And there you go. Zion Fleming 2 and 1, Alan Campbell 1 and 1, and the players who had shots that weren't on target: Jake Cooper and Joe Bryan. So offensively, okay. Defensively, who had the most tackles? Norton Cuffy, bizarrely. Now, was that because he lost the ball up front and had to tackle him to get it back? He does do quite a lot of that, doesn't he? I don't think it was defensive tackling. Maybe it was, I don't know. We can find out when we move on to the next page. But then Casper Denor with 3, Murray Wallace with 2. Joe Bryan and Alan Campbell. Interceptions. Looks like Casper Denor's top there, yeah. Then Alan Campbell, Wes Harding, Jake Cooper, Billy Mitchell. Billy Mitchell getting involved. Clearances. Jake Cooper with 6, Tom Bradshaw with 3, Casper Denor with 2. So Casper Denor's looking good defensively now. Block shots. So we only blocked 2 of their shots. And that was Jake Cooper and Mike Wallace. In terms of passing, now how many passes did Aidomu Emakhu have to get that 90%? 12. It's a 12. So it looks like he mispassed about what was that, 2 or 3 passes. 1 long ball, 1 accurate long ball. So that's very few passes. But look at the output they had. He had 2 shots on target, 12 passes, 92% accuracy. Like I said, he was like the end man for the chances. He wasn't really passing. He wasn't passing it around too much. So if we look down this and see Casper Denor 50, I think he's way and above the next guy on 39, which is Murray Wallace and Joe Bryan. So it really was Casper Denor as the playmaker. 50 passes, 88% accuracy. So there you go. We've got Casper Denor as a DMC, and we've got Zion Fleming as an AMC, and that's how we need to play if we're going to get the most out of the team, attacking wise and defensively. Having that player just sitting in front of the defense that can pick up the ball for them and spread it forward quite accurately as well. So now we move on to fbref.com to get some more in-depth details like the XG, because I know you all love the XG, don't you? This is a very low XG. Like I said, it's only 7 shots per team, 4 on target for us, 2 on target for them, 0.5 XG for them, 0.3 for us. So that's quite low. I think that might be our lowest of the season. Obviously, the goal was a bit of a wonder goal from outside the area. So as we go down, you can see possession-wise, as we've seen, 54 to 46, passing accuracy 76 to 70, 327 passes for them, 259 for us. Shots on target, as I said, 2 of 7, 4 of 7, so 57% of our shots were on target. Saves, just 50% for Bart and 75 for Freddie Woodman. Here are some more numbers. The touch of the ball, 537 to 466. Fouls, 13 to 15. Corners, 5 to 2. Crosses, 16 to 17. Tackles, 15 to 11. Interceptions, 13 to 6. Clearances 26 to 17. Offsides 2 for Preston. So the offside trap working well for Millwall. Not bad. Goal kicks 10 to 8. Throw-ins 26 to 28. Long balls 68 to 79. So pretty similar teams. Playing the same kind of way. If we go down, we can see. So here's Millwall's squad list. 13 players involved in that game. 2 substitutes. What are we looking at? First, that we haven't seen already. So expected goals: Emakhu 0.1, Fleming 0.2, and that was it. Shot creating actions. So who were the most attacking players? Setting up the shots: Tom Bradshaw, Emakhu, Fleming, and Alan Campbell. Passes, percentage-wise, in terms of completed and attempted, it looks quite down to me. It looks quite down. Is that because we were playing more direct? We were playing more through ball. Zion Fleming looked 63% accuracy. 19 completed off of 30 passes. Was he getting man marked? Do they know how good he is? Norton Cuffy 60%. 23 off of 38. Murray Wallace 60 off of 29 off of 48. Progressive carries that move the ball towards the opponent's goal by at least 10 yards. So Emakhu with 2 of those, Norton Cuffy with 5, Murray Wallace with 4, and Wes Harding with 2. Take-ons, now this is interesting. So attempted and succeeding. How many times you've tried to dribble past someone and did you get past him? Emakhu 3 of 3. Joe Bryan only 4 of 1. So you tried it 4 times, only got past once. And Norton Cuffy 7 and 3. So there you go. Like I said, Scruffy Cuffy. What else are we looking at? So tackles wise, let's look at that. Where did Brock Norton Cuffy's tackles come from? Because he had 4 tackles. And he won 3 of them. 2 were defensive and 2 were in the middle of the park. So it does look like it was further up the pitch where he may have lost the ball. Challenges. What's the difference between a tackle and a challenge? I don't know. Let's click on this and see if it comes up. Oh, someone who's dribbling at you who you tackled. 3 of 3 for Norton Cuffy. 0 of 3 for Alan Campbell. So, that's a black mark for him. Okay. What else are we looking for? Don't know. I'll let you know when we find it. So the touches in the attacking penalty area. Only 14 for Millwall. Emakhu 3, Bradshaw 2, Denor 2, Wes Harding 2. Carries. So here we go. We can find the distance. Carries. Number of times the ball controlled the ball with the feet. Total distance. Progressive distance. So this is how many yards Brook Norton Cuffy ran with the ball. 311. But only 116 of that was towards the opponent's goal. So you can really see like who's fucking about with the ball and who's literally attacking. Let's have a look at Adamu Emakhu. 5 carries for 79 yards, 72 of which were straight forward at Preston's goal. Direct player. That's what we want. That's why it seemed better to me, I think. That's why, because we were more direct and we were quicker because Emakhu was playing. It kind of feel different. Normally we would move it forward and try and play it to feet, and then the other team would just set up, and then once we would pass it and we would lose it, and then everyone's got to run back quickly because we're getting fucked. Oh no, shit, they've scored. Which what was that, Swansea game? think all three goals are like that. Leeds as well. I mean, fucking hell. So hopefully that doesn't matter. That doesn't happen anymore, because we hit it forward and we've got Emakhu running onto it, and then the other players run up to try and catch, and he either passes it to them or he shoots. We don't have this thing where the whole team's come forward really slowly and we're passing it to each other's feet, and then we misplace a pass and we're fucked because there's like two players back and it's a 2-on-1 or 3-on-2 situation and we're screwed. So hopefully that doesn't. All that was an away game, so you don't expect that to happen, but we'll see what happens at home tomorrow against or on Tuesday against Blackburn, won't we? What else are we looking at? Can I see? I don't know. Joe Bryan 93.52. That's not bad. But here you go. So Tom Bradshaw. This is why I'm saying, like, what was Bradshaw doing? I didn't really see him in the game. He's carried the ball 7 times for a distance of 45 yards. Only 1 yard towards the opponent's goal. Like, what? What? 1 yard. 1 yard towards the opponent's goal. Your main striker. Ay. Dispossess and miscontrols. Number of times the players failed and attempted to gain control of the ball. Bradshaw in one of those. Benor with 3. Well, yeah, a lot to do though. Murray Wallace with 3. So I'm playing with 2. But that, you kind of expect that further up the pitch because you're kind of outnumbered, aren't you? It's usually 2-on-1. And you're surrounded. You're being hassled, you're being pinched, and you're being shoved. So there you go. What's this one here? Receiving. Number of times a player successfully received the pass. And progressive receiving. Okay. Miscellaneous stats. So we won offside. Obviously playing it on the counter wouldn't be, because you're not pumping balls long. Here we go. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. So aerial duels attempted and won and lost. Tom Bradshaw, he won. This is 10. He won 1, lost 9. That's not good. Wes Harding 4 and 0, 100%. A star, A plus. Joe Bryan 2 and 0. Captain 1 and 0. But Tom Bradshaw 1 and 9. Yikes. Yikes. Target man not being a target man. Okay, I think we've seen enough. Let's have a look at the goalkeeper now. Obviously, 2 shots on target against 2, goals against 1, saves 1. That's 50%. Post shot expected goals 0.4. So the 2 shots on goal against Bart should have had it as an expected goal of 0.4. It was actually 1. So could you say you could have done better with that? I don't know, maybe. Kicks, 15 attempted, launched means long passes, 15, 2 completed. Obviously he's trying to find Tom Bradshaw, and Tom Bradshaw wasn't winning those aerial duels, so that's why Bart's numbers are down. Passes attempted 12, threw it 2 times, launched 58.3 at a time. Average length 42.8 yards. Goal kicks 8, all of them 100% were launch long, 69.1. Crosses, the opponent crossed the ball into the penalty area 13 times, and Bart did not come for one of them. Sweeper keeper, outside of your penalty actions, 5. So his average distance from the goal line was 27.7 yards. And here you go. These are all the shots in that game from both teams. As you can see, not a lot of action in front of the goal. And you can see the closest chance towards the goal, 7 yards out from Brad Potts with his head, and that was blocked. That was in the 67th minute. Most of them were from distance, generally around the 20-yard mark, which is where Zion Fleming's scored his goal 22 yards out, right foot. That was an XG of 0.11 after he shot 0.29. And that was the last shot of the first half. There were no other shots in 15 minutes after that. And you can see at the start of the second half, Alan Campbell with a shot that was saved, and then there was quite a gap until the next shot in that game as well, and that was Millwall with Jake Cooper with a header. So not very prolific game in front of goal, but there you go. I think that about sums it up. On that note, thank you for watching, and goodbye.